Hello,
Hello, guys. It's Mrs. Klein.
and Mr. Creighton.
We are here with your very first podcast for seventh grade history.
For this podcast, we're going to be looking at the introduction of Europe during the medieval times. We're going to go through a little bit of a unit overview first. After that, you guys will be able to open up your textbooks and follow along as we go through setting the stage. So we're going to start off with Europe during medieval times. Throughout this unit, you will learn about the Roman and Byzantine empires, the impact of feudalism on the people of medieval Europe, and the spread of Christianity throughout Europe. Use these guiding questions to focus on your studies.
How did the environment and technological innovations affect the growth and contraction of the Roman Empire, the Byzantine Empire, and medieval Christendom? What impact did human expansion have on the environment?
How was Rome a site of encounter?
How did the Roman Empire gain and maintain power over people and territories?
How did the Roman Empire fall?
How did the religion of Christianity develop and change over time? How did Christianity spread through the empire and to other cultures?
And finally, how did the decentralized system of feudalism control people but weaken state power?
All right, you guys, it's time for you to have your history book and be open to pages 2 and 3. In this section, setting the stage, you're going to be introduced to the geography of Europe during the medieval period. By interpreting maps, you'll discover what the political geography of Europe was during the 1300s and how physical features might have affected these boundaries. In the lesson, The Legacy of the Roman Empire, you will examine different features of the Roman Empire and match them to modern-day images. This will help you examine how the Roman legacy has survived until today. You're also going to learn about the different reasons for why the Western Roman Empire ended.
All right, guys, looking at the top of page 3 for setting the stage under the title Europe during medieval times. The title of this unit includes two key words, Europe and medieval. You probably recognize Europe as the continent east of North America across the Atlantic Ocean. But what does medieval mean and why is it important?
The period of time called medieval began with the fall of the Roman Empire and lasted until about 1450. This long period of time, also known as the Middle Ages, is the period between ancient and modern times.
Historians divide the Middle Ages into three parts, early, high, and late. The early Middle Ages lasted from about the year 476 to 1000 CE. The High Middle Ages lasted from about 1000 to 1300, and the Late Middle Ages lasted from about 1300 to 1450.
You will begin your study of the medieval world with Europe. Although the physical geography of Europe has remained largely unchanged since medieval times, the political geography of this region, such as place names and boundaries, has changed a great deal.
Europe is a giant peninsula attached to the huge landmass called Eurasia. Look at the map, physical features of Europe. Water borders this continent to the north, south, and west. Much of Europe's land lies on the northern European plain, one of the largest expanses of flat land on Earth. Additionally, several mountain ranges extend across Europe, separating different regions. The Alps, for example, form a barrier between Central and Southern Europe.
Now look at the map, medieval Europe, about 1300. Some place names, such as England and France, will be familiar to you. Other names refer to political features that no longer exist but live on as present-day names. For example, Castile, Leon, and Navarre were kingdoms in medieval Spain. Now they designate regions in present-day Spain.
It is beneficial to study the medieval period because events in the past have helped to shape the present. Studying the past helps us understand the government, economy, and culture we have today. For example, in the year 1295, an English king created a governing body that centuries later influenced the creation of modern democratic institutions, including our own Congress.
All right, you guys, we are going to begin lesson 1. That's entitled The Legacy of the Roman Empire. It's got a variety of different sections in it. Right now, we're going to focus on a guiding question. You should be able to answer this question for sure, be thinking about this throughout the course of this lesson. To what extent have the contributions of ancient Rome influenced modern society?
As we go through the podcast, and you guys are following along in the textbook, we would like you guys to take a look at the vocabulary or the terms. There are 10 of them. They are aqueduct, Constantine, corruption, decline, empire, mosaic, philosophy, proverb, Roman Empire, and scribe. So, under the introduction on page 5, all roads lead to Rome, boasted the ancient Romans. For 500 years, from about 27 BCE to 476 CE, the city of Rome was the capital of the greatest empire the world had ever seen. Road markers that stretched thousands of miles show the distance to Rome, but the empire's 50 million people were connected by more than roads. They were also connected by Roman law, Roman customs, and Roman military might.
At its height, around 200 CE, the Roman Empire spanned the whole of the Mediterranean world, from northern Africa to the Scottish border, from Spain to Syria. During this time, the Roman world was generally peaceful and prosperous. There was one official language and one code of law. Roman soldiers guarded the frontiers and kept order within the empire's boundaries. Proud Romans believed that the empire would last forever, an idea that would eventually be challenged.
But the empire did not last. By the year 500 CE, the western half of this great empire had collapsed. For historians, the fall of Rome marks the end of the ancient world and the beginning of the Middle Ages.
As one historian wrote, Rome perished, yet it lived on. The medieval world would pass on many aspects of Roman culture that still affect us today.
What contributed to the decline of this powerful empire? In this lesson, you will discover how and why the Roman Empire fell. Then you will learn how Rome's influence continues to live on in so many ways today, in art, architecture, and engineering, language and writing, and philosophy, law, and citizenship.
All right, you guys, today, the things that you've learned about, and you've got a little bit of a preview of the map. Tomorrow when you come to class, be prepared to put it all together and do a mapping activity and answer some questions that go along with it.
Sounds good. All right.
See you soon.
Bye.